Randy and I are film students in Thailand. We've been wanting to film a ride-along with corpse collectors for a long time. Corpse collectors are part of Thai first responders. They collect bodies and detached limbs from the scene and deliver them to a coroner. We arrived at our third stop and the air felt different. It was completely dark, no wind and no sound of insects. A dog could be heard howling in the distance. A police car passed us while we were walking to the scene. A cop rolled down his window, pointed to a small alley, and said, "Your dead body walked that way." All four of us were confused about what he meant. When we got there, we saw a crowd blocking a small alleyway between two apartment buildings. Ben and Sam, our corpse collector friends, pushed through, and we tried our best to pretend that we were one of them. We had a sticker of the foundation's logo on our shirt. When we finally got a look, we saw him. He was an old man with a cleaver buried in his head. It was like he didn't know he was dead and was still walking. He kept pushing people away from him. His strength was surprising. 2 full-grown men fell to the ground from the force of his shoving. A woman in the crowd kept yelling, "Where are you going? Please stop." The man with the cleaver in his head finally took a seat on the bench. According to one of the onlookers, that was where he fed the pigeons every evening. I was so shocked at the sight, I didn't notice Randy move past me. Randy went right up into the old man's face and just started filming. The man didn't look into the camera. After Randy moved around him trying to get a different angle, the old man slowly slouched over and passed away. I wanted to scold Randy, but the onlookers and the corpse collectors didn't, so I thought I shouldn't either. While Ben and Sam, our corpse collector friends, talked to the old man's family, Randy and I got back to the car. Randy played back the raw clip he filmed on his DSLR, his face full of pride. When we got to the clip of the old man, it showed the old man staring directly right into the camera, right at us. I was so startled my heart skipped a beat. Randy almost dropped the camera. We both looked at each other. It was clear that both of us were sure he didn't look into the camera at any point while Randy was filming. While on our way to the coroner's office, I looked through the rearview mirror and could have sworn I saw the old man sitting up at the back of the truck. It could have been the wind moving the bag, I told myself. I didn't want the others to think I couldn't take it and would start freaking out. We were at a traffic light in a still pretty remote area at the edge of the city, and a pack of stray dogs started barking at our car. Sam looked at the dogs confoundingly. Suddenly, Sam started freaking out when he saw Randy through the rearview mirror. Sam got out of the car, opened the passage door, and dragged Randy out by his shirt collar. We were confused about what was going on. Sam showed Randy's sticker to Ben. Ben closed his eyes and shook his head in disbelief. Earlier, before we left the headquarters, we were given stickers with the logo of this particular Corpse Collectors Foundation. Sam and Ben made sure we put it on and took a look at us before they okayed us to get in their car. We just assumed they want people to think we belonged at the crime scene. But that was not the main reason. There are several Corpse Collector Foundations, but if you look at their logos, there was something similar in all of them. The logos all had a symbol incorporated into them, and that symbol served the function of warding off evil spirits. I took a look at Randy's sticker and couldn't believe it. His sticker was upside down. Ben and Sam made sure we put our stickers on correctly. The fact that it was upside down must be deliberate. When Sam threatened to leave Randy in the middle of the road at night, surrounded by woods with no buildings in sight, Randy started to apologize profusely. He admitted that he put it on upside down just to see what would happen because so far the night had been so boring. Sam yelled that the upside down symbol is an invitation and that we were now marked. While Ben tried to calm him down, Randy and I looked closely at the stray dogs. I gasped when I saw that none of them had eyes. And I thought I was seeing things, but I thought the one that was the farthest away looked like it didn't have a head. The dogs stopped barking. They didn't even look at us. They were looking into the field next to us. And that was when we saw it. Pale, naked people. They seemed to be about 7 to 8 feet tall, judging from the distance, standing in rows, slowly marching towards us. I wanted to tell Ben and Sam, but when I turned, I was shocked to see that the cleaved old man was clutching onto the side of the cargo bed like it was a side pillow. He wasn't moving, but he had a grin that he didn't have before. I felt my soul leave my body. I wanted to collapse on the ground so badly and just weep. I turned and looked at Ben and Sam to gauge their reaction. Ben just sighed and shoved the old man's body deeper into the bag and tied it up completely. Sam finally allowed Randy back into the car but said that they will drop Randy off at the dorm. I looked at the row of pale naked people and was creeped out by how much closer they were to us now. Like the dogs, none of them have eyes. It was so surreal to me that Ben and Sam were not panicked, though they did seem frustrated. I was so scared I could throw up. Ben saw that I was fixated on the figures. He told me to remember the old Thai adage. I knew he was trying to tell me about the old Thai saying, "Do not call out to anything that looked like a ghost." While inside the car, several calls were coming in. The dispatcher asked Ben and Sam to go to a nearby school where a drunken man with a gun climbed onto the cell tower demanding to see his wife. Ben, however, radioed in and said they have to make a detour and dropped one of us off at the dorm first because we were all marked by evil spirits. I thought for sure the dispatcher was going to yell at Ben, but he just told Ben he was sorry that happened. On the way back to our dorm, while in the car, I saw a reflection on the glass window of a building. A man was standing on top of the roof of our car. I almost said something. My mouth was open. But then I remembered the adage and thanked God no sound came out. In the next window, the man disappeared. Randy himself was quiet. He knew that Ben and Sam didn't have to drive us back to the dorm, but they did anyway. Once we were on the road that led right to our dorm, however, Randy became braver. He asked what it meant to be marked and if there was something he could do. Ben said that their boss would cleanse him, but he wouldn't do it tonight, not on payday. Randy became agitated. He begged for their help. Sam taunted that he could drop Randy off at the temple if he wanted, and Randy started cursing at them, claiming that they were abandoning him because of the question he asked earlier while they were collecting fingers. Ben gave Randy a sticker with their foundation's logo on it and told Randy to put it on the door of his room and not to open it for anyone, that this should help him survive the night. Randy was jumped by the sound of the dog howling and he started crying. Ben and Sam were unmoved. I told Randy I would collect plenty of footage for our movie, but I could tell Randy couldn't care less. We finally made our way to the coroner's office to drop off the old man. The coroner's office was conveniently right next to the headquarters of the Corpse Collection Foundation. Sam radioed a security lady named Rita who was guarding the gate. He asked her how many people she sees inside her car. She said, 5. Ben turned to me and said 2 extra people came with us and that Rita could see them. Normally, the logo would prevent any spirit from attaching itself to our car, but some of them are powerful enough to override it. They still couldn't get inside the car, though. As Ben and Sam took the old man's body to the coroner, I waited outside. I suddenly felt like I had to use the restroom. I could see the bathroom at the end of the hallway, but lights were coming out of it. As I moved closer, I could hear people talking and laughing, almost like they had a party in there. I thought, well, this wasn't scary, so I opened the door, and there was nothing. There was no one in there. I ran as fast as I could go back to that central area where some other people were sitting. And then on my phone, Randy sent me messages. He said that the abandoned half-constructed building opposite of our dorm suddenly had a bunch of people standing on them looking right into his dorm room's window. I messaged him back saying to follow Ben's advice and not to open the door, but Randy just swore at me and said that this was all my fault. I didn't know what to say. The dispatcher, who was also Ben's boss, came to pat me on the back. He was scary looking, but seemed like a nice guy. He laughed like a jolly Santa and asked me if I had fun and if I got enough footage for my assignment. I nodded and then took out my camera, hoping to show him some footage. My heart dropped when I saw that all 100 plus video clips had a thumbnail of the old man looking into the camera. And the files all have 0 bytes of memory. The dispatcher closed his eyes and nodded in understanding. He then casually told me that he knew some people who were marked and ended up gouging their own eyes out. They just couldn't take what they were seeing. Wishing He didn't tell me that. I sat down on the curb and wiped my face with both hands, telling him that it has been a long night. The dispatcher laughed, patted me on the back again, and told me it was only 8 p.m. Hi everyone, it's me, Michelle Renee, but you're welcome to call me Giggles. Thank you so much for watching the video. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to my patrons, Eric Cifuentes, Andrea Sanderson London, Lawrence Wallen, Geek Sanctuary, and Melissa Perez. If you want to become a patron today, I have links in the description, also for my Discord or even for my coffee if you just want to make a one-time donation. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.